What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. We got how Kendrick Lamar just officially confirmed his new album. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. And if you just became a member or already been a member, what's good with you? What are your plans this weekend? Let me know in the comments. But man, Drake recently, I honestly, with some of this stuff, I'm just like, what's true, what's not? Apparently there was this thing going around that Drake abandoned OVO as far as the brand and stuff, which I personally wouldn't blame him. After the masterful annihilation that Kendrick did to the day, like the way that we already know the way that Kendrick just destroyed him. But even more recently, Drake had released like some old footage of a moment when he was sending where he had a track for Kendrick Lamar. Some people were saying that that's what the feature request that Kendrick was talking about. I personally think, and there's other people that brought kind of like proof that it was in regards to first person shooter. But when it comes to that, isn't if you're a fan of Kendrick, you know that that isn't the excitement for a Kendrick Lamar album. I'm not looking for a Kendrick Lamar album for him to address beef. Honestly, the thing with Kendrick's albums is they're actually works of art. You know, there's different reasons and there's different avenues a rapper can go down and what's important to them. For Kendrick, it is the artistry, it is creating something masterful. For Drake, it may be something for the moment, something, for situations and, as far as quick bursts. So that's why I'm excited to hear about Kendrick's album. So let's see what we got.
Now,
What
as
proof we
Drake
got?
came back outside with more new music, more clips of himself that were put out to flood everybody's timeline, and new hints that were alluding to the fact that he is going to be dropping more diss tracks on Kendrick Lamar soon. One of the most important things that came out of this storm of content that Drake was trying to win back people's attention with was not really about him at all, and was actually about the guy who has left him in shambles and is the reason why he is doing any of these strange things in the
He's
first place at the
spiraling.
moment, which is, of course, Kendrick Lamar. Because after this summer
The
where Drake has
boogeyman.
been running around and never looked more directionless in his entire career, all while Kendrick has ended up having an all-time great year for a rapper in every single sense of the word, from the respect to the acclaim to the numbers. By doing this all with just 5
Seriously.
songs released, he has had one of the most dominant years in recent hip-hop history, which has of course been led by the charge of Not Like Us. Because just with this single song, Kendrick has literally
Oh
outstreamed and
man.
outcharted most full-fledged albums in the entire music world this year. And now between all the success from this record, and how quiet Kendrick has been since dropping the Not Like Us music video in July, and then how Drake has seemingly done Kendrick's job of making himself look horrible for him with every questionable thing that he has done this summer. At this
Seriously,
point, as it seems like
everything
Kendrick's
he's
success
dropped.
has been solidified, people were starting to think that Kendrick Lamar's mission is done in 2024 and he will not be coming back out to give us any new music. But as rumblings about Kendrick, Drake, and the potential continuation of their beef has been coming back around, as Drake has been begging for it, the internet exploded with speculation about what the next moves from both of these rappers are going to be, and how while initially what set this conversation off was when DJ Academic said that Kendrick Lamar is coming soon. And now, while Axe saying this alone is not reliable at all, considering who he tends to support and be in the know with, and as a result of this, he
Seriously.
was actually called out for lying by people close to Kendrick, but then adding a legitimate voice and perspective.
And there's this whole back and forth between DJ Ack and DJ Head. DJ Ack goes on these random tirades of just being like, I'm that dude, best journalist, and nobody's scared of Kendrick and everything like that. We went in round two. I personally don't think that there's gonna be a round two as far as on Kendrick's side. And I wouldn't even say this was even a round one because I think a lot of people are delusional with how bad Drake lost. Like the fact that Drake is still spiraling currently And Kendrick literally has not dropped anything else since Not Like Us other than the music video and a pop out event. Like, it is wild. It is why he's just school chilling all the while. Drake has dropped little memes. Drake has did all these little slide things. And then it's just all like, sir, it is the battle with yourself. You know what I mean? And DJ Act, like you said, DJ Act isn't a reliable resource because it's just all like it's like some things are, you can get from him as far as finding out first, but sometimes there's a lot of bias. And I know people might say that by videos, well, you're just deriding Kendrick and da 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 da. My thing is, it I'm looking at this from both the artist and a fan perspective. Artist perspective, because I'm just all like seeing the trajectory of two artists that are two different styles, but they're you look at everything from the upbringing, you look at everything from the type of music that they make and where they're at and how the culture and everybody sees them after how long that they've been in the game and just how much more that they got to go. As a fan perspective, I'm looking at it in the sense of just all like I grew as a man, so there was a lot more things that I could relate to Kendrick about because that was just the type of music that Kendrick always had made. I'm 33. He's not that far off, from me. Neither of them are, but there's still a good distance to where there's stuff that it's great to see as far as the perspective of Kendrick and in his accomplishments, how things aren't peachy keen. Drake's on the other hand, he's just moving in such a weird way that I'm trying to figure out, was there something that I could have seen, prior when I did like Drake's music? We're talking about like 2011 downwards, you know what I mean? Like I think maybe after Take Care of Views from the Six, maybe it starts getting hazy on me actually checking for Drake music. But there's a point in time like the what was it, comeback season, um, So Far Gone. There was these things that he was able to create and the artistry and what he was talking about. He was a vulnerable man, and here I am in my early 20s navigating as being an artist in a band and dealing with women and trying to also preserve my feelings all the while express them in music. Like I was able to relate to Drake on that level, but then the rise and different things like that happened to where then there was a lot of this weird stuff. And so for me, I always like to self-reflect and be like, okay, what and some people be like, man, it's not that deep. But to me, it's that deep because I'm just all like, was there anything that I could see that I can see in another person? That way I can refrain from being around that. Was there a particular energy? What that it was is like it's one of those things where I'm trying to look at that in other areas of life. It's like sometimes I look at this and be like, it's deeper than rap, it's deeper than hip hop, it's deeper than these two and what these two represent as avatars in our lives, type of thing. So not to get like super deep, but this is like a lot of the stuff that I think
To the
about.
storm that was created by academics' comments about the next chapter of Kendrick's career. A friend of Kendrick who goes by Hidden J3 posted a few text messages between him and Lamar about the prospect of new music. And in response to the rumors that came out from DJ Academics, what this exchange between him and Kendrick said is, but A, is the album coming out or is you just on Demon? And in response to this, Kendrick said two words that spoke volumes, and these were, we coming. And now with
We
this
coming.
user who posted the message is somebody who, as we can see, is friends with Kendrick
Wow,
Lamar and
they
actually is
following.
followed by him. This is the most credible
Wow.
confirmation we have had recently about the fact that Kendrick's new album is coming out. But when you dig deeper into the facts and look at the landscape of both the music industry this year and also just look at the purpose of what Kendrick Lamar was really trying to do when calling out Drake beyond just destroying his biggest rival, it really shouldn't be a
Right.
surprise that Kendrick is preparing to give us another full length body of work. And on top of that, that he hasn't done it yet, because right off the bat, as we have seen in the music world, from Drake's absolute failure of handling this beef and its aftermath, which has weakened him way more than anyone would have imagined when Kendrick just released his own set of diss tracks, to
Seriously.
the fact that Not Like Us has become one of the most dominant hits that the music world has seen in such a long time, as it is still cracking the top 5 of the charts with ease every.
See that before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Catalog. Yeah. These are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase all of that in the link in the description. And just check it out because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So anyways, guys, it is insane, and a lot of people there that are Drake fans are just like, well, Drake is still the biggest artist, da, 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 da. You have to understand what is going on and how music and streams and different things like that work. you know Drake, in the period of time since the Heart Part 6 to this 100 gigabytes of trash, everything that he's dropped has not charted. I don't even know. I think okay, so they charted, but they're not doing what it was that they did before. Some of them aren't even charting, and so when people are saying like, hey, the what Drake used to have, is it the same? Yeah, he's still gonna have these numbers reflecting, but you can't deny what Kendrick is and will be able to do and has done. So I'm excited as far as the album. What's interesting is just I guess the mystique in the way that Kendrick is doing things, like is pretty much how he's always maneuvered as far as releasing and doing music. It's very interesting to just be like, all right, gearing up for this album, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the head of my biggest rival, so to speak. And that makes me think of what's to come because, like I said, Kendrick and Drake are at very interesting ages. And when I think about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, that was a very intense, is it the word? But it was very mature for sure, raw, and it was one of those things where, for me personally, there's really only a couple. Like, I could listen to the whole album as an art piece, but there's really, for me, just only a couple that I could constantly repeat and replay. Like, Count Me Out is my jam. Um, but it just makes me think of where he's currently at. Like, after delivering that, what is he about to do? You know what I mean? Because the type of lyrical acrobatics that he displayed in these diss songs is just all like, yo, where is he about to go with this? So I want to know what y'all think as far as like directions he may go. If you're thinking about, for me, it's from overly dedicated to Mr. Morale. And thinking about all of the stuff that he's put out and where he is in life, what would that next project be? Because to me, I would almost feel like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was comparable, as far as mature wise, but at a younger age, something like a 444 or something like Little Brother's recent album, or even Fonte's recent album. There's certain mature themes that I feel like don't get celebrated enough in hip hop. And I'm just all like, all right, is he about to just have fun? Is this going to be like another version of Damn, you know, because I felt like when Damn came out and listening to it, and then all the theories behind it, as far as listening to it backwards and all these different things, and him continuing the storyline, but it all pertaining to him and different things. Like, I'm like, that's what I'm excited for. And that's what I don't get from Drake. I can't even think of an album that was crafted to that level of storytelling that Drake's released. But let me know what y'all think of all this. The full video will be in the description. It's Mr. Composition and MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. Make sure to like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 5K. And make sure to check out the description for my music, comics, books, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.